Hey, what's up guys? This is Brad with Despite Fitness, and I want to put together a quick little video based on some stuff that I've kind of seen on social media recently, but specifically this morning. Something caught my eye and I want to talk about it for a few minutes because I think it's kind of important, and so we'll get into it here in a second, but first I want to do the intro and kind of highlight some of my sponsors. Let's do it. Alright guys, hey, so I talked about how I want to do a quick video based on some things that I've seen, and this morning when I woke up, and this morning would have been Monday the 26th of June, woke up and kind of do my normal thing as I'm getting ready for work. I started looking through social media, Instagram, whatever, just kind of seeing what went on over the night and what people were posting, all that stuff. And what I saw was something that caught my eye. Is kind of a well-known, very accomplished powerlifter making a comment about people posting their social media, or people posting their lifts in social media, and saying, you know, that you're not unique or you're not whatever. And so the post kind of hit me for a second because it seemed like an awfully negative thing to say, and it kind of surprised me. And I thought on it, I reflected on it kind of all day long, and there have been a number of things as well in my life recently that kind of made me think on this as well. And the more I thought on it, the more I have to say that I disagree with that logic or that mindset, because, you know, the converse to putting information out and you know, just putting things out there is nothing, right? Is the absence of information, the absence of sharing training, the absence of sharing information and ideas and techniques and all that stuff. So if we go back to a concept of whether there's nobody posting anything on social media about their lifts or about their training, well then there's kind of an absence of information. And one of the things that makes lifting so great right now is the abundance of information, how easy it is to get access to some of the top lifters and some of their training styles, what they're doing now, what they did to get where they are, and all that stuff. You know, those things didn't exist when I first started lifting. You know, I started lifting before, you know, in the late 90s basically. And that information wasn't as readily available as it is today. And in order to learn how to do, you know, learn how to power lift and perform the lifts and develop a training style, I had to go find a crew and guys that were doing it and were more accomplished and knew what they were up to, at least hopefully, you know, ideally. Luckily I fell on a good group of guys, and they did know what they were doing, and they helped me get a very long way. But that's probably, you know, the exception versus the rule. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are lifting that they're curious about powerlifting, or they want to get into strength and fitness, and they're not quite sure how. Maybe they don't live in an area where there's an abundance of other lifters, and they're kind of starved for information, and they got to figure a way out. And everyone pushing information out, posting their lifts, doing this, doing that, you know, I don't begrudge that at all. I think that that's great. You know, recently I had somebody try to tell me that, you know, powerlifting is more than just, you know, Instagram posts and, you know, YouTube videos and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You're right, it is. Powerlifting is a lot more than all that. And it includes it as well. It's about sharing information, it's about sharing ideas, it's about coming together and stitching community together and not creating walls and barriers between people about, you know, this or that or whatever. Everyone has their own training style, everyone's going to be drawn to whatever they're drawn to. And the really beautiful part about social media is that if you don't like what somebody else is doing, you have the option to scroll past it or ignore it or block them or any number of other actions where you're not going to see that person's posts. You know, God forbid that you don't pay attention to what somebody's doing. There's plenty of people that I don't pay attention to. And, you know, it's as simple as making a choice. But I would rather make that conscious choice myself about who I listen to, who I don't, than just have nothing at all. To kind of roll back powerlifting in the fitness community to the Stone Age, so to speak, where the only way that you could learn information was by, you know, hunting down the dingiest gym where the most hardcore guys trained at, and, you know, digging through old Powerlifting USA, you know, magazines for, you know, training articles and things like that. I mean, back in the day, it was very hard to find information. So I don't begrudge people getting online and people pushing information or pushing their training, you know, and they say, well, hey, not everyone's, you know, your training isn't special. You're not an individual snowflake. Okay, yeah, cool. You know, but your lifts are good for you. You know, your PRs are still PRs. And there's probably people in your circle that care about what you're doing. There's family, there's friends, there's other people that are watching what you do, and they're inspired by it. Oh yeah, and just another, you know, quick, you know, pre-edit, post-filming thought is that a lot of those people talking trash on social media are also on there trying to peddle something, peddling goods, services, you know, whatever else. So take that for a grain of salt, because you know what, everyone's trying to do something. So people on there that are talking trash are pretty much doing the same shit. It's kind of ridiculous. There's been a lot of pot calling the kettle black lately. Weird. And, you know, I got to say that, you know, in me doing my own social media stuff, you know, with YouTube and with Instagram, I have met people I would have never met any other way. And I have spoke with people that I probably would never have spoke to any other way. And, you know, other people have come to me and said that whatever it is that I'm doing inspires them. And you know what? That's awesome. Because if there's only even just one person that you inspire, it's worth it. You know, if for nothing else than just to track your own performance and what you're doing and being able to monitor what it is that you're up to. Because in a lot of ways, I use my Instagram as a kind of a training log, where, you know, weeks, months, I'll go back and look at where I was and what I was doing, and I can see, because I've kind of kept that video diary of what I was doing. So, however you use social media, or, you know, whatever, good on you. If you want to use it to share and spread information, then cool. You want to use it to further your own endeavors, that's great too. You know, people talk about want to talk trash on folks who seek sponsorships or this, that, or the other. And again, far be it from me to cast any judgment or you know, throw shade on someone, you know, trying to, you know, find a way to support themselves in doing what they love. You know, if you are good and the way that you represent yourself is in line with what somebody else is doing, and they want to support you in that effort, that's amazing. That's awesome. Like, that's living the dream. And, you know, the only way that you're going to be out there and you're going to get yourself discovered, and that you're going to even be able to communicate with other people, is by putting yourself out there and having a message and representing yourself the way that you represent yourself. And maybe you'll run across somebody who lines up with what your ideals are, who lines up with what your goals are, and that can form a good relationship. You know, I'm very grateful for some of the local sponsorships that I have. I never would have had them, and I never would have found them if I didn't put myself out there, if I wasn't creating content, and I wasn't seeking to try to, you know, create a message around the lifting as well. As easy as it is to sit in your hate corner and throw shade on other people about what they're doing and how they're doing it and whatever else, you know, it's not a good way. It's not a good way to be. It's not a good look. You know, it's shallow, and I ain't got time for that, and neither should you. So this is just my quick message. Maybe not all that quick now, but this is just my message and my ideas about, you know, what it is that, you know, kind of the fitness industry is or what powerlifting is or is becoming. By and large, there's more people pushing stuff out there on a daily basis than there ever was. And I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, welcome it. I love seeing my friends hit PRs. I love seeing what other top competitors are up to. I love seeing what, somebody coming out of nowhere is doing. Like Kyler Woolham, who heard of him 3 years ago? Very few, right? All of a sudden, a couple Instagram posts, and people are seeing this dude doing some amazing things with deadlift. You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of attention would never have come to him if he wasn't putting himself out there a little bit, and to gain that notoriety, get that eye. Who could begrudge him that? Finding a way to support yourself and doing something that you love, that's the freaking dream. So anyway, regardless of how you may feel or how you think you may feel about what everyone else is doing, I think that if you have a negative viewpoint on what other folks are doing, you probably need to be spending a little bit less time focusing on other people and maybe spending a little bit more time looking in the mirror. Rising tides raise all ships, and there's plenty of room and plenty of space out there for everyone to find some measure of success. And that's also something to consider. What you are doing right now, what the success that you're finding and wherever you are, whether it's England, Nebraska, wherever in the world, whatever you're doing and finding some success for yourself, it has almost no effect on me. It's not taking away success from me. My success is in my own hands. And I think that maybe too few people keep that in focus. Anyway, that's the rant, that's the video, that's my message. And I hope that it resonates with you guys. I hope that it means something for you. At least maybe gives you at least a moment's pause for thought to maybe reevaluate some of your own conceptions about, social media and what other people are doing. I think it's awesome. Everything that you guys are doing, I may not see it, I may not choose to see it, but keep it up because somebody's watching, I promise. Some young person, some young friend, some young family member, maybe some young stranger that never met you, sees what you're doing, likes what you're doing, and wants to improve their life because of something that you did. And I think that's freaking awesome. Anyway, guys, like I said, that's the video. I hope that you liked it. I hope it meant something. If you give me that thumbs up, I appreciate it. And I'm always grateful for subscribes. If you know any friends that are interested in lifting and getting strong that I don't, share the message with them. I think that's a positive message to send. And I don't think there's enough positivity around the sport. It's getting better. We've still got a long way to go. Anyway, guys, you can find me on Instagram at Brett_Arbic. And we're getting down to the wire here for nationals, so coming up on it. I hope that the training will yield good results. But I'm just going to go out there, do the best I can, have some fun, and make some memories, because that's what it's all about, guys. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. We'll see you on the other side. And remember, guys, no matter what it is you think you can't do, or what other people are telling you that maybe you shouldn't do, train despite. See ya.